There is a specific image in the Buu saga that should make your skin crawl if you stop to think about the logistics of it. It is not the image of Majin Buu turning people into chocolate, and it is not the image of Vegeta blowing himself up in a final act of redemption. It is the image of Dabura kneeling. We need to really look at this visual to understand the nightmare we are discussing today. Dabura is not a henchman and he is not a saw lighter. He is the king of the demon realm. He is a being who has ruled over a dimension of pure evil for thousands of years. He is a creature of such immense power and pride that the Supreme Kai, the highest god in the creation hierarchy at that time, was physically trembling just by looking at him. Dabura is a being who spits on the gods. He is the Satan figure of the Dragon Ball universe. He is ancient. He is majestic in his malice. He is comparable in power to Perfect Cell, a bio-android designed to be the perfect life form. And yet this king, this apex predator of the underworld, is on one knee. He is bowing his head. He is taking orders. And he is not taking orders from a god of destruction or an angel. He is taking orders from a tiny, withered, green cockroach of a wizard named Babidi. Most fans look at Babidi and they laugh. They see his design and they write him off as a gag character or a plot device to get to Majin Buu. They see that he can be killed with a single chop to the neck. They see his bulging eyes and his frail limbs and they assume he is weak. This is a fatal error in analysis. Babidi is not weak. Babidi is the most terrifying type of villain in the entire franchise because he represents a violation that is far worse than death. Frieza will torture you. Cell will drink you. Buu will eat you. But Babidi will enslave you. He will reach into the deepest, darkest recesses of your mind, find the one insecurity or the one drop of evil you have been hiding, and he will use it to wrap a chain around your soul. He takes away your autonomy. He takes away your identity. He turns kings into servants and princes into pawns. The horror of Babidi is not physical destruction. The horror of Babidi is the absolute loss of self. To understand why this little wizard is so effective, we first have to deconstruct the nature of the demon realm and what it means to conquer it. The demon realm is not just a place where bad guys hang out. In the lore, it is the antithesis of the mortal universe. It is a place where magic reigns supreme and where physics works differently. To rise to the top of that hierarchy requires a level of ruthlessness and power that is difficult to comprehend. Dabura sat at the top of that food chain. He had defeated every challenger. He had solidified his rule over an entire dimension of demons. His pride would be absolute. The ego required to rule the demon realm is likely even greater than the ego of a Saiyan prince. And yet Babidi broke him. The show does not show us the exact moment it happened, but the implication is terrifying. Babidi did not beat Dabura in a fist fight. He likely floated into the throne room of the Demon King, perhaps surrounded by guards, and simply spoke. Babidi is a master of psychological warfare. He does not attack your body. He attacks your flaws. He likely sensed the ambition in Dabura. He sensed the desire for more power or perhaps the chaotic evil that naturally flows through a demon, and he latched onto it. The magic of Babidi, the Paparapapa spell, is distinct from almost every other technique in Dragon Ball because it bypasses durability. It does not matter if your power level is in the millions or the billions. If you have evil in your heart, you are vulnerable. It is a bypass key for the soul. The moment Dabura let his guard down or listened to the wizard's whispers, it was over. The M symbol appeared on his forehead. That letter is not just a tattoo. It is a brand of ownership. It rewires the brain. It takes the loyalty you have for yourself and redirects it entirely to the wizard. When we see Dabura serving Babidi, it is disturbing because of the tonal mismatch. Dabura is articulate, elegant, and deadly. Babidi is screeching, petulant, and childish. Seeing a king serve a brat is a perversion of the natural order. It highlights the unnatural power of the wizard's magic. Dabura cleans up for him. Dabura protects him. Dabura praises him. It is the ultimate humiliation. And the scariest part is that Dabura looks happy to do it. He isn't fighting the control. He believes he wants to serve. That is the true horror of the enslavement. Babidi doesn't just force your body to move. He gaslights your soul into thinking that servitude is your destiny. He makes you love your chains. This is a level of violation that makes Frieza's genocide look almost clean by comparison. Killing someone ends their suffering. Enslaving them extends it indefinitely. We must also analyze the henchmen Yamu and Spopovich to understand how Babidi twists biology. These were two human martial artists. They were likely stronger than the average farmer, but they were nothing compared to the Z fighters. They were weak, they were inconsequential, and yet, under Babidi's influence, they became monsters. Look at the fight between Spopovich and Videl. This is one of the most brutal beatdowns in the history of the series. It is hard to watch, but look closely at Spopovich. His skin is pale, his veins are bulging, his muscles are unnatural. He takes a kick to the neck that snaps his head all the way around. By all laws of biology, he should be dead. He should be paralyzed. But he just grabs his own head and twists it back into place. This demonstrates that Babidi's magic acts as a potent anesthetic and a biological override. He turns off the pain receptors. He forces the body to ignore damage. He pushes the muscles beyond their tearing point. He effectively turns living beings into zombies. Spopovich does not care about his own survival. He only cares about the mission. He only cares about gathering energy for the master. This is the fate of the weak who fall under the wizard's spell. They are used until they break. They are disposable batteries. When Spopovich completes his mission, Babidi does not thank him. He does not reward him. He explodes him. He kills him simply because he is no longer useful. This reinforces the view that to Babidi, other living beings are not people. They are tools. They are objects to be used and discarded. Now we arrive at the crown jewel of Babidi's collection of slaves. The Prince of All Saiyans, Vegeta. The subjugation of Vegeta is the central conflict of the early Buu arc, and it is a masterclass in psychological manipulation. Babidi is observant. He watches the battle from his crystal ball. He sees the frustration in Vegeta. He sees the way Vegeta looks at Goku. He senses the inferiority complex that has been festering in Vegeta's heart for 7 years. Vegeta has a perfect life on paper. He has a wife, a son, a home, and peace, but he hates it. He misses the fire. He misses the ruthlessness of his past self. Babidi sees this midlife crisis and he weaponizes it. The wizard speaks directly into Vegeta's mind. He does not threaten him, he offers him a gift. He offers to return him to the way he was. He offers to remove the pesky morality that is holding him back. He promises power. This is the seduction of the devil. Babidi knows that he cannot force Vegeta. Vegeta's will is too strong to be taken by force, so Babidi invites him. He creates a situation where Vegeta chooses the slavery. This makes the corruption absolute. When the M appears on Vegeta's forehead, it is the darkest moment for the character since the Namek saga. He smiles a cruel, twisted smile. He has sold his soul to a cockroach just to settle a grudge. Babidi thinks he has won. He thinks he has another Dabura. But here is where the dynamic shifts and where the complexity of the wizard is revealed. Vegeta refuses to follow orders. He takes the power, but he rejects the master. This shocks Babidi, it terrifies him. For the first time, his magic fails to completely override the host. This moment is crucial because it exposes Babidi's own weakness. He is cowardly. When his control slips, he panics. He screams. He hides behind his other slaves. He is a parasite who cannot survive without a host. The dynamic between Majin Vegeta and Babidi is fascinating because it is a power struggle between magical dominance and sheer willpower. Vegeta breaks the mental chains through pure pride, effectively using Babidi's own gift against him. However, we cannot underestimate the damage Babidi caused even with his control slipping. He successfully turned the Z fighters against each other. He orchestrated the resurrection of Majin Buu. He brought the universe to the brink of extinction, and he did all of this without throwing a single punch. He did it by whispering. He did it by sitting in his chair and manipulating the pieces on the board. His spaceship is another aspect of his terror. It is a dungeon designed to extract energy. It feeds on kinetic force. The harder you fight, the closer you are to losing. This turns the hero's greatest strength, their fighting spirit, into their greatest weakness. Every punch Goku lands on Vegeta feeds the beast. Babidi engineered a scenario where heroism is the fuel for the apocalypse. This is a tactical genius that rivals any military commander we have seen. Let us discuss the end game of Babidi, his relationship with Majin Buu. This is the classic tale of the sorcerer's apprentice or the scientist losing control of his creation. Buu is not a slave like Dabura. Buu is a force of chaos. Babidi thinks he can control Buu with fear. He threatens to seal him back in the ball. He yells, he abuses him. This is Babidi's hubris. He believes that because he holds the key to the cage, the tiger will respect him. He is wrong. He treats Boo like a dog, not realizing that Boo has the mind of a child and the power of a god. The moment Boo realizes that he does not need to listen is the moment Babidi's reign ends. The death of Babidi is one of the most satisfying moments in the series, but it is also grim. Piccolo chops him in half, but he survives. He is like a cockroach that refuses to die. Eventually, Boo grabs him by the throat. Babidi tries to speak, he tries to cast a spell, but his voice is choked out. Boo punches his head off. Literally, his head explodes. It is a visceral, violent end to a creature that caused so much psychological pain. But even in death, Babidi wins. He released the genie. He set the world on fire. He died, but the nightmare he woke up continued to ravage the universe. He was the catalyst for the destruction of Earth. He was the man who lit the fuse. There is a deeper layer to Babidi's character when you consider his motivation. He is doing all of this for his father, Babidi. He wants to avenge his father and complete his father's work. This implies a twisted sense of familial loyalty. He is not just evil for the sake of evil, he is a zealot. He is a true believer in the supremacy of his lineage. He believes that the universe belongs to his family by right of magic. This entitlement makes him dangerous because you cannot reason with a fanatic. He views everyone else as inferior species. The Supreme Kais are just obstacles. The Saiyans are just batteries. The humans are just food. This total dehumanization of all other life is what allows him to commit such atrocities without blinking. We should also consider the magical hierarchy that Babidi represents. In Dragon Ball, Ki is usually king. If you have a higher power level, you win. Babidi disrupts this rule. His power level is negligible, yet he controls beings infinitely stronger than him. This introduces the concept that magic is a shortcut to power that bypasses the hard work of training. It is the cheat code of the universe. While Goku and Vegeta break their bodies for decades to get stronger, Babidi just learns a spell. While Dabura meditates for centuries in the demon realm, Babidi just waves his hands. This makes him offensive to the core themes of Dragon Ball. He represents the unearned power. He represents the manipulation of others rather than the cultivation of self. He is the anti-martial artist. The visual design of the inside of his ship reflects his psyche. It is dark, fleshy, and organic. It looks like the inside of a stomach. It is designed to be confusing and disorienting. He teleports his victims to different environments to throw them off balance. He uses Yakin to eat light. He uses Pui Pui to fight in high gravity. He tailors the battlefield to disadvantage his enemies. This shows that he is a strategist. He knows he cannot win a fair fight, so he ensures the fight is never fair. He rigs the game. He creates a casino where the house always wins. The only reason he lost is because he bet against the two greatest anomalies in the universe, Goku and Vegeta. And even then, he still managed to wake up Boo. If we look at the legacy of Babidi, we see that he is the one who broke the peace. The 7 years following the Cell Games were a golden age. Gohan was going to school. Vegeta was training quietly. The world was safe. Babidi arrived, and within a single day, he dismantled everything. He turned the Z fighters into enemies. He destroyed the World Tournament arena. He killed the spectators. He unleashed a monster that would go on to kill every single human being on Earth. The kill count of the Buu saga is absolute, extinction, and it all traces back to the little wizard. Without Babidi, Buu sleeps forever. Without Babidi, Vegeta never relapses. Without Babidi, the Earth is safe. He is the singular point of failure for the universe. Babidi also serves as a dark reflection of the Kais. The Supreme Kai creates and protects. He guides life. Babidi corrupts and enslaves. He twists life. They are two sides of the magical coin. The Supreme Kai was terrified of Babidi not because Babidi could punch him, but because Babidi threatened the very fabric of free will that the Kais protect. The fear on Shin's face when he talks about Babidi is genuine trauma. He saw what Babidi did. He saw his fellow Kais die. He knows that this magic is a cancer. When Babidi arrives, it is like the return of a plague that was thought to be cured. The psychological impact on the victims cannot be overstated. Imagine being Dabura. You are a king, you have your own mind, then suddenly a fog descends. You start to care about the wizard, you start to love the wizard, you kill for him, you die for him, and you never realize that you were a slave. You die thinking you were loyal. That is a tragedy, or consider Vegeta. The shame of what he did under Babidi's influence drove him to suicide. He blew himself up to atone for the weakness of letting the wizard in. Babidi forced Vegeta to confront the darkest parts of himself, a confrontation that ultimately killed him. Babidi is a catalyst for trauma. He leaves scars on the mind that are far harder to heal than scars on the body. Furthermore, we must discuss the global threat Babidi posed. He broadcast his voice to the entire population of Earth. He held the world hostage. He demanded the location of Goten, Trunks, and Piccolo. He turned the human population into a hunting ground. This level of psychological terrorism was new. Cell announced a tournament. Frieza just killed people. Babidi played games. He made people turn on each other. He created an atmosphere of paranoia and dread. He made the humans feel small and helpless, not just by killing them, but by speaking directly into their heads. The image of the entire world looking up at the sky, listening to the screeching voice of the wizard, is a moment of collective horror. In the end, Babidi is often forgotten in favor of the muscle he hired. People remember Majin Vegeta's sacrifice. They remember Boo's regeneration. They remember SSJ-3 Goku, but they forget the architect. They forget the hand that moved the pieces. This is a mistake. Babidi is the true villain of the first half of the arc. He is the mastermind. He is the infection. He proves that you do not need big muscles to be a monster. You do not need to shoot lasers from your hands to be a threat. All you need is the ability to find a crack in someone's armor and pry it open. Babidi is the embodiment of manipulation. He represents the fear that our own minds can be turned against us. He represents the fear that our friends can become our enemies with a single spell. He represents the terrifying reality that the strongest warrior can be brought to his knees by the weakest coward if that coward knows the right words to say. He enslaved the devil, he broke the prince, he woke the beast, and he did it all with a smile on his ugly, wrinkled face. When you look back at the Buu saga, do not just look at the pink monster. Look at the wizard on his shoulder. That is where the true evil lies. That is the face of absolute corruption. Babidi was not a joke. He was a nightmare that nearly swallowed the universe whole.